Hello, beautiful, beautiful mamas, and welcome to the number one inspired mamas extraordinaire. I'm Debbie Page, your host. I'm here to help you embrace your journey of motherhood with intention, grace, and joy. So, I want to talk to you about something today that I have observed. And, I'm 71 now, and I have great concerns about some of the things that I'm seeing in our society. I also have great hope for a lot of the things that I'm seeing in our society. And I have great hope for these amazing moms who are really wanting to make a difference. But the thing I want to talk about today, because I think that I have a unique vantage point, and that's what I see that's really breaking my heart. It's mothers being addicted to their phones. And you see it everywhere you go, even in restaurants. I can remember a few years back, the first time that I noticed this, that the whole family was sitting there waiting for their food. And instead of being engaged in conversation or even playing the little game that was on the table, they were all engaged in their own phone, totally separate from each other, isolated at the same table and not even communicating. And this really affects our children. Well, it affects our marriage as well. Because are you really having conversation? I'm so thankful that when I was raising my children, we didn't have cell phones. So we didn't have to deal with this whole situation. But now I see what's happening. It's stealing these precious moments from your children. It's stealing these precious moments from your husband. These are moments you'll never, ever get back. Our time really is ticking away every single day. And one of the things I recently did, and it was really partly by accident, is that I ordered an analog clock. So a lot of you may not even know what an analog clock is, but it's the original type of clocks that we had where the hands actually turn around, the second hand goes around, and it's not based on lights and digital. And I ordered it so I could have it in my bedroom so I didn't have to have my phone in my room. And then if I happened to wake up in the middle of the night, I would be able to see what time it is. Well, that doesn't work because that clock does not have a light on it. So I brought it down to my office, and then I realized, oh, this is so important for me to have this sitting here where I'm glancing over at it from time to time, and I'm seeing the seconds ticking by, and I can stop and I can think, oh, how did I just spend my time? So I'm going to be really direct to you about what I see happening. And I want to share a 3-minute practice that might save your motherhood experience from being lost to a screen. I absolutely think that as someone who raised children before smartphones existed, I can see something that might be invisible to you. And when I visit families now, I sometimes see these moms that are just constantly on their phone. I've been taking my granddaughter to swim lessons, and some of the parents are just sitting there engaged in their phone the whole time. But I find that even it's just a 30-minute lesson, so why not be totally engrossed in what the child is doing and what she's learning? That way I can give her feedback. I can say, oh, you did a beautiful job with that back float. Oh, aren't you proud of yourself? Whereas these other moms really are not seeing what's happening. I see these young moms constantly checking their phones during meals, at the playground, even during bedtime stories. And your children are trying to connect with you, but you're connecting with your device instead. So last month I was at a park with my daughter and my grandchildren, and I was watching some of the other mothers, and they were almost all on the phone. Now my granddaughter does not do that. I mean, my daughter does not do that. She's very disciplined and very present when she's with her children at the playground. In fact, I don't ever even see her take the phone out of the pocket. It's just not there. And she has a high-powered corporate job. But you know what? When she's with her children, those children get her attention. And I would watch these other moms, their children would call out, Mom, watch this, watch this. But the mom was so engrossed in her phone, she just wasn't paying attention. I'm not judging. Listen, I have really battled the addiction with my phone as well. I was talking with some friends the other night. They were talking about this, what do they call it? Doom scrolling. And I thought, oh, I had not heard that word, but it's doom. It just is bringing us to doom. So I know you're exhausted And I know that your phone can bring you some relief from always having this conversation with these little people. But you know what? Put your phone away. I really am passionate about that. I want you to see what's actually happening. So here's what you could do is just do these few things for a couple of days just to see where your time is actually going. Let's call it the awareness minute. Beautiful mamas, just start here for 60 seconds. Write down how many times you picked up your phone or checked your phone in the last hour. Can you even remember? If you have a piece of paper where you can just check off, check off, check off, check off every time you pick it up. Was it social media? Was it work emails? Was it texting? Was it because Google all of a sudden showed you your photo memories? But write down what your child was doing while you were on your phone and be completely honest with yourself. This is just for your eyes. You don't have to share it with me or with anyone else. And then the reality minute. And this is where the truth really reveals itself. In the middle of the day, take 60 seconds to track and note how many times your child tried to get your attention while you're on your phone. Write down how you responded each time. Did you say, oh, just wait a minute. Oh, let me finish doing this. Oh, I'm busy. But ask yourself, if somebody was watching you, or if you're asking yourself, if somebody was watching me, what would they see? When I started thinking about that, that was a huge game changer for me. Now, yes, I am not living in a home with all these small children like you are, but I still needed to do a reality check on myself to say, what am I doing? And how often am I picking up my phone? Write down 3 specific times. This is going to be your commitment minute to write down 3 specific times tomorrow when your phone will be completely put away. I absolutely love what I have more than one daughter-in-law, but one of my daughter-in-laws, I know for sure she has her phone in a completely different room. So she only checks it. And I don't know specifically, but when I'm over there, I don't ever see her picking up her phone and checking it. They are very specific about when they check their phone. I say they, that's my daughter-in-law and my son. So create that phone-free zone. If you are in the den or the living room and that's where you typically read to your children, or maybe you're at the table where you typically do your homeschooling or your meals, let that be a phone-free zone. Don't bring your phone there, and certainly not into your bedroom. Plan one activity where you're going to be fully present with your child. And remember that these years are fleeting. I can tell you that from experience. I look back, I think, how could it possibly be that these days of my children being young and in my home, which I absolutely loved and adored, they're gone. Those days are gone. I'm very fortunate. I have 9 grandchildren. The 10th is on the way, due in the fall. Yes, congratulations. So happy. But I've seen now what happens when the mothers start to become aware of this issue. One mom I was talking to, when after she did this little exercise, she said, I checked my phone 100 times in the last 60 minutes. That is a real addiction. And I know that I have probably been there. I never actually counted because I just decided that's it. I'm not doing this anymore. My phone is over here. I do not look at it except for certain times during the day. And what they're finding is they're more settled. Their children are more settled. They are more connected. The children are less attention seeking. When they have to compete with a phone, that is very hard on the children. But when they know that they have your full attention, and it feeds their soul in a way no amount of quality time can make up for later. Now, I don't mean that you always have to stop what you're doing when you are with your children. You may be reading a book. You may be reading a recipe. You may be in the middle of preparing a meal. I do want you, of course, to respond to the children when they call out to you, but you don't have to always completely stop what you're doing and be at their beck and call. But here's what I want you to understand from my 71 years of wisdom. Your phone addiction isn't something to be ashamed of. It's designed to be addictive, but only you, yes, only you can choose to break free from it. 3 minutes of honest reflection can be the first step toward change. Your children don't need a perfect mother, but they do need one who's present. And I'm super proud of those of you who are willing to face the difficult truth. So thank you. Thank you for spending this time with me, because I know your time is very precious. So I appreciate you spending your time with me. And I hope my perspective as someone who loves both you and your children has given you something valuable to consider. So if you're ready to break free from your grip of your phone, the grip that it has on your motherhood, I'd love to work with you personally. In my coaching program, I'll help you develop some practical strategies to overcome your phone addiction and reclaim your attention for your children and to what really matters. Click below so that you can sign up and become a part of my coaching program. So here we go. I want you to remember that your children will remember who was really there for them and not who was physically present while mentally absent. So until the next video, have a great rest of your day.